Alright, so welcome back to another installment of Speak Your Mind. And basically, the audio flow. Alright, so in today's episode, we're going to talk about Vybz Cartel, Privy Council, final decision. Alright, so his final decision will be on Thursday, next week Thursday. So next week Thursday, we're going to know whether or not Vybz Cartel will be a free man, whether or not he will be a retrial, or whether or not he will be guilty. Alright, so you know the procedure. I really want to reach up on my channel. First thing you need to do, like this video. Yeah man, let's give this video a thumbs up. Simple math. And then subscribe to my channel if you want to support the movement. Alright, so we're going to jump in that story now. Alright, so we all know that Vybz Cartel is a gangster. Put it that way. You know, some fans have it to say that, oh, Vybz Cartel did the crime, so he should do the time. Some fans have to say, free Vybz Cartel. Some people have to say, oh, lack of evidence. So there's no way you can lock up for somebody until proven guilty. You know, and we all know Vybz Cartel based off his lifestyle, based off his music. We all know that Vybz Cartel is in a gangster organization. Whether or not he's the Don, whether or not he's a shot caller, whether or not he's the person that provides the guns or provides the money. But what about Clive Williams? Clive Williams is also a gangster. And we all know there's only two roads when it comes to being a gangster. One leads to being in prison. That's what Vybz Cartel is currently doing now, in jail. Then another road leads to 6 foot under the ground. You get me what I'm saying? So I'm not saying it was a right move if that was the case why they killed Lizard because of 2 shoes. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just simply saying that Lizard was already in a gang. And as I said earlier, there's only 2 things that come with a gang. So whether or not Clive Lizard Williams was the victim or not, he was in a gang. So in idea was he's still guilty in terms of being a part of a gang. And we know that being a part of a big gang of that magnitude and being affiliated with Vybz Cartel, it also affiliated with gang members like Tisha Miller, where we stab out the blood, Waterhouse man kill mother and father. So Cartel been an inform on these serial killers in his songs. You know, and also being affiliated with Black Man, one of the most dangerous gang leaders or gang member. You get me what I'm saying? So anyway, we take it. None of these persons are innocent. And
that you can't do that. You tell prosecutors coming, you can't encourage the judge to continue with the case. That's what happened. The DPP herself
found very often in terms of the feedback coming through the police or even coming through their attorneys. It's not that you will.
Honestly, I think that's what DPP Paula was saying in a recent interview. You get me what I'm saying? But while I understand that they are not innocent, in the court system, they are not innocent till proven guilty. So if it's a case where a juror was bribing the other jurors for a not guilty verdict, who you think pay them off to bribe them? Who you think pay off that one juror to bribe off the other jurors? Who you think do it? Think about it. Who you think do it? And if the DPP can overrule a judge by saying proceed with the case despite having a juror that was being bribed in the case, what do you think gonna be the outcome? You get me what I say? So I'm kind of glad to the case gone to the Privy Council, because in the day it kind of unfold a lot of things. You get me? We kind of unfold whole heap of things, and we kind of get to see who wanted Vybz Cartel to be in the bars. You get me what I'm saying? Yeah man, it kind of unfold right now. And in the case, I kind of like the lawyers them, Buchanan and also Samuels. You get me? Because I'm really sure what one. Although it's their client, so basically they're gonna fight for them rights. You get me? I say that's what they're getting paid for. That's what they're doing as a job on their own. You get me? I say, and in some of the recent interviews, they basically expose the system, and you have to really just open your eyes and put two together. Say, all right, that go on. And there's actually, to be honest, one is I think is going to be a free one. The fact that it's in the Privy Council now, and there's no one to say, oh, he's not guilty. There's only facts to work with. You get me I'm saying? And to be in a Jamaica system where it's so corrupt, you have a lot of shot callers. You know, and the Privy Council, I don't think there might be shot callers, but those shot callers honestly don't care about cartel case in terms of whether he's guilty or not. Them just work with the evidence that was brought before them. You know, but as I'm saying, next week we're gonna hear the verdict. So till then we're gonna hear what go on. You get me on, so we're gonna go and update nonetheless. So if you know it is far in the video, you know the procedure already. Also, incarcerated dancehall artist Adidja Palmer is expected to know his fate next week as the Privy Council has announced that a ruling in the appeal to overturn his murder conviction will be handed down on Thursday, March the 14th. The entertainer, sentenced to life in prison more than a decade ago, had been granted an expedited hearing by the Privy Council in October the 23rd. Specifics regarding the DJ's case were heard in the United Kingdom on February the 14th and the 15th. The decision then comes just over a month after court proceeding concluded. It was expected the final decision could take place up to 12 weeks. After a trial lasting 64 days before the trial, the judge and juror in the Home Circuit Court Kartel and his co-accused included Sean Storm Campbell were convicted with the murder of Clive Lizard Williams, who was reported killed on August 16, 2011. The police took Kartel and his co-accused into custody on September 30, 2011. Their cellular phone was seized. According to the Privy Council release, prosecution relied heavily on the evidence driven from these phones, which was taken from a copy of a CD-ROM provided by a digital telecommunication provider in Jamaica. It further stated that at the trial, Kartel challenged the admissibility of the telecommunication evidence. They argued that the police requested digital provision of the data to the police were carried out in the breach of Interception of the Communication Act. Further evidence has been obtained in the breach of the fundamental right protection of Privy Council and was granted federal rights and freedoms contained in Jamaican Constitution. The High Court statement read, the trial judge ruled that the telecommunication evidence was admissible. During the trial, the judge also became aware of the allegation a juror had attempted to bribe others by offering $500,000 for a particular outcome. The trial was allowed to proceed as the judge did not discharge the juror or the particular juror said to have offered the bribes. According to the Privy Council, its ruling will be made against the background of several grounds of challenge. Specifically, should the trial judge have excluded telecommunication evidence relied on by the prosecution? How should the judge have handled the allegation that there were attempts to bribe members of the jury during the trial? Should the juror have been discharged? Was the judge wrong to invite the jurors to reach a verdict late in the day, given the special circumstance of this case? Arthur Kartel and 3 others were handed life sentence in March 2014. The appeal was dismissed in the Jamaica court before the matter was brought before the Privy Council. Alright, so we all know the story behind Vybz Kartel long awaiting case, As the report said, he has been incarcerated for over a decade now. Him and him co-accused. So what will the verdict be? Alright, so based on my analysis and based on my knowledge regarding this case, and I think there's 3 things you're supposed to look out for. So the first thing is the juror. That was the first bad move that was made by the Jamaica force, the Jamaica whatever, Jamaica justice system was to the judge in particular, DPP Paula. Anyway, take it because basically none of them never wants justice, you know. So the first bad move was made was